Hey everyone, welcome back to TK is Outlandish. I'm TK, also known as Teresa.
I'm Ryan,
I am the person who read the series of Outlander
and I'm the one who just watches the TV show.
and listens to me complain about it.
That too. That too. Yes.
So right now we're about to watch episode 715, written in my own heart's blood.
I think we got it right this time.
What do you mean?
The episode number.
Yes, we did
Like
because
the
it's only
past
two
the
episodes.
past the past two recordings we've done,
Yeah.
you screwed up either the episode number or how many episodes are left.
Yes, I
Like
definitely know these are the last two episodes. But right now we're gonna just do a quick, kind of in-depth review of the last one, 714, which was called, you don't remember. I can't
it was
Yeah.
it was
get used
you
to
didn't
it.
get used to it.
I can't say it right, so I won't say it.
You didn't get used to it. Yes. That had a weird accent too. I'm not gonna do that again.
Okay. The
Uh,
only Scottish words I can say are perfect and huer.
Great choice of words to learn.
I can't say and you can.
You can.
Get-
Yes. Yeah.
Can.
Okay.
So anyway,
This is not something we're practicing.
So anyway, Ryan has been hearing about my complaints about concerns, complaints, we'll call them, about this season, kind of in general.
You've been noticing differences.
Yes, and differences aren't always bad. Some of the differences they did, I really liked.
You know, that's why we started this whole book versus TV show thing,
Yes.
because it's not necessarily that they're bad, just that they are differences, and they just deserve to be discussed.
And how people view them as someone who read the books and someone who doesn't read the books, which, as I've mentioned, why I started this channel is something that has always interested me, adaptations. So like one of the changes they made was in the book series, Murta died at Culloden. And obviously in the series, the TV series, he didn't die till season 5. And I actually really like that they kept Murta on because I like the actor.
It's fantastic. Love Murta.
Yes.
Every scene like with him, I enjoyed.
Yes. And I think it was really nice for Jamie to have his godfather there, his someone there for him in prison and when he like went to America. So like those changes I liked. One change, and this is I was gonna make an episode. I honestly don't think I'll ever have time to do it. But I was gonna make an episode about the changes they did that I liked and I didn't like. And number one,
Maybe during next Outlander.
maybe, but I'm just gonna tell you right now what number one is that in the book series, Jamie did not know that Leary set Claire up to be killed, basically. And Jamie even says in the book, if I'd have known that, I never would have married her. And when I saw that episode, when I saw that in the series, it was before I read the books. So I didn't know that this was the case. And I
That's
remember
right, because
watching this.
we watched the the videos first.
We watched the
First season.
5 seasons.
Yeah, and then you read the books, and then we caught up.
Right. So 6 and 7 are the only seasons that I had read the books first. So when I saw that, I was like, what? How could Jamie marry someone who he knew set Claire up to be killed, burned at the stake?
Yeah, I had the same reaction. Like
This
there's no chance.
way. There's no chance that this would happen.
Given that we knew what we knew about Jamie's character
Right.
at the time through those first 5 seasons,
Right.
and like he's an honorable guy, and he was so in love
Yes.
with Claire, and like he was kind of like lukewarm on like Leary to begin with. Like it
Right.
seemed like he saved her just out of like a sense of nobility, of a chivalrous deed.
And even in the book, you can understand since he didn't know, like in the book, they didn't even know for sure that Leary put up that ill wish. And I can understand they changed the TV show because it was very dramatic. It was very like, what? Who would want me dead? Leary. And it like ends on that episode. Like, yeah, it's very dramatic, very TV. But in the book, all Jamie knows is Leary is someone, she never like went to him and tried to like and like half almost naked in front of the wherever. That never happened. All
Right.
he knew was Leary was someone that he like made out with once,
Right.
and had 2 kids, and was lonely, and he was lonely, and that I can understand. I would never understand Jamie marrying a woman that tried to have Claire killed. And that's not what happened in the book, and it happened in a TV show, and I think that was a huge misstep, and it still pisses me off to this day, as you can tell.
Goodness, that was
And that's why I say Jamie would never stay in Lord John's house. There's no way. And okay, so this is the first thing that annoys me.
And we're disagreeing about this. I don't have a problem with this.
Yes, I do not. Okay, so the things, like I said, they've changed things, and it hasn't been that big of a deal. They've changed things that I think actually even worked better. Um, but the changes they made in this series, in this season, are bothering me. Like, not knowing that Jamie had the PTSD that he went through all through the book series from what Blackjack did to him, that they kind of in the show they made it seem like he resolved that in the middle of season 2.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if they made him seem like he resolved it. I don't know if they ever properly established that he had PTSD in the first place in the show.
Maybe because he was having the nightmares and stuff.
Briefly, you're right, he was. And then it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
but that's not that's not a thing that PTSD. That's not PTSD. I mean,
okay, so then you're saying it wasn't addressed at all in the series.
Yes, I'm saying it was.
Okay.
I'm saying it was not addressed at all. It was not. I mean, it was established that he kind of he had bad memories of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say it was well established that he had PTSD. Like, it was something that bothered him during his waking moments, something that he was just not comfortable with from day to day over the course of his lifetime. It just wasn't addressed, and I agree. I think that was a ball dropped on their part.
Because if you knew in the book series that he continuously had nightmares and night terrors, and he would wake up
Cold sweats, yeah,
sweats, almost not seizure. What's the word I'm looking for? He just
night paralysis.
Yes, night paralysis and stuff like that. That would be PTSD.
Sure, yes, that would definitely be a symptom. Yes.
And although it would explain why why Jamie would punch John by saying we were both effing you, that's a reasonable response. But continuing to beat the crap out of him might not have been. But it would have been more explained if they knew that triggered his PTSD.
I agree. If we knew that he was if we had seen from season to season to season that he was dealing with this,
mm-hmm.
then I do agree that that just absolute pummeling that he gave John would have been well, here it's all coming out now.
It's almost like him beating up John was him beating up Blackjack.
No, that's exactly right. What it is. You're right. Yes.
So that would make sense. So that's why I feel a lot of some people from the comments I read, some people think that Jamie's acting out of character, but if you knew the book, he's not acting out of character for book Jamie.
But it's not book Jamie. It's TV Jamie. Right, yeah.
If you're acting out of character on the TV show, that's not great. But that doesn't make sense if you're just watching the show. But if you're reading the book, you're oh yes, this totally makes sense because this is what happened and this is why.
Right, and that's why I do agree that that's questionable decisions on the producers' parts for those scenes. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the scenes. I'm just saying that how they were structured could have made more sense if they had set it up a little bit better beforehand.
I will say there is one thing though I do like that's going along with this season is I like the casting of the girl who's playing Jane, the prostitute.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Yes. I thought you were going to go with Jenny when you were about to say that.
Jenny. Oh yeah, she was I liked her.
Yeah. She caught up quick.
I'm upset that Jenny didn't come to America. Still upset about that too.
Career decisions. You gotta cut stuff somewhere, I guess.
Right. I liked her casting. I like her chemistry between her and William. I was surprised that they cast her. I didn't know they were gonna cast her sister. I was when I read it, I wondered if they were gonna bring her cause her sister's storyline goes even into book 10. And if they weren't gonna do book 10, I wonder if they were just gonna cut her character out. completely.
Mm-hmm.
If they're ending it next season.
So knowing that the fact that she's in it at all gives you an idea of what kind of storylines they're going
Yes.
to bring into the next
Which I
couple
won't tell you.
next season.
No, I won't do no spoilers. But I think I like her too. I think they look like they could be sisters. They have like similar, like their coloring's different, but they have like similar facial structures. I think,
Yeah,
and yeah.
it's fine as far as casting goes. It's fine.
No, because no. Oh, I know where you're like, oh, they don't have to look like sisters, but don't get me started on how Brianna doesn't look anything like she's supposed to in the book. That's another thing that annoys me. I like Brianna, I like Sophie Skelton, but okay, moving past it. Moving past it. The other thing I liked is
Speaking of things that people aren't moving past, but yes, we can say it for now.
so for now. So the other thing I liked is they brought Hale in because I didn't think they were going to. Um, he's a huge part in book 8 and 9.
So you were very excited about it.
I was
Like,
because
oh, like surprisingly excited. Like, and I'm just kind of along for the ride. Like, yay, Hale. Who's Hale?
so Hale is of course Lord John's brother in the books, and I bet he had. I did not read the Lord John series, but I'm assuming he did have a huge part in those books, or some of them. Um, but like when I read his character, I really liked his character in book 8 9. He has like a very dry sense of humor. He's like very straightforward. And like when I read it though, I was thinking about the guy who played him, the actor who played him. We only saw him in like 2 scenes,
Yeah.
maybe 3 scenes. And I was like, I don't know if I could like picture, like I barely remember him. I don't know if I could picture him playing Hale.
Mhm.
But when I saw him and I saw the short scene he did with David Barry, I was like, yes, he could. I think he would be great as Hale if he came back as the same actor in season 2 and 3.
Mhm.
2 and 3?
I don't remember when we saw him last.
Just 3. Anyway, it's the same actor, and I think he would be great as Hale, and I really hope he comes to America. I think they mentioned the gout thing. He has a small part in book. Lord John goes to England in book, I want to say 6, and Hale's there a little bit. And I'm pretty sure he does have gout in that book, like he said. So I'm wondering if he mentioned that he had gout and he can't travel because he's not coming to America, but I really hope he comes in season 8 because I think he'd be really great. And his interactions with John in book 9 are really 8 too, but especially in book 9 are really good. So I hope he comes back. So that I was happy about. So far, if they cut him out, I'll be upset again.
I wonder if they just brought him in as part of the introduction to what was that guy's name?
Percy,
Yeah.
because he's his stepbrother too.
Right.
There was something else that he did that because he said I'm telling you, I'm hinting at foreshadowing. It's not a spoiler for non-book readers when he says something to the effect of um John says something about you wouldn't kill your son, or I wouldn't.
Yeah, after talking about beating, like,
America. No, Hale says
right.
America's a disobedient son, and
Right.
John says, but you wouldn't kill him. And Hale says, I wouldn't. John says, I wouldn't kill my son for being disobedient or traitor or whatever. And Hale says, but you only have one. There's been more than one time that I've wanted to kill one or another of mine.
Yeah.
That's foreshadowing. But in the book he has 3 sons. He has Adam, Ben, Henry, and he only mentioned Henry and Ben here. I don't think they're gonna bring in Adam because Adam doesn't have a very big part, and if his storyline, he doesn't even have a storyline. He's like in one scene in the book. It can either be cut out or Henry could cover it. But he has a daughter, Dorothea, who ends up marrying Denzel. I don't think it's a spoiler because I do not think they're gonna bring in Dottie at this point because they have a double wedding. Dottie and Denzel get married at the same odd Quaker sitting around ceremony. So I don't think they're gonna bring her in.
Yeah, at this point, it
It's
feels like Denzel's like set. Like
yeah,
his character arc's pretty much set.
which kind of makes me sad because I like the actor who plays Denzel, and I thought he deserved to have someone in his life. But hey,
I look forward to seeing more of him, and
yeah,
it's one of those things where like if you were to tell me that like off screen or like if they were to come back like next season and be like, oh, did you hear what happened to Denzel? He got married. I'm like, oh, great for him. Like that's something I could see happening at
yeah,
once the war winds down. But right
yeah,
now he seems like really like he's elbow deep into his work, and I almost feel like a romantic relationship would feel weird
yeah.
right now with him.
Yeah. So, and there was oh, there was one part in the episode I really liked was that when I don't know if people caught it. I caught it because I thought it was hilarious. But when John says he helped Percy escape from jail and made everyone pretend he was dead, and Claire was like, and John says he was my stepbrother, and Claire's like, like she gives that look like, okay, like like one of those looks
Hmm?
where you just go, but anyway, but I'm still contending. This will be something we will not agree on. I contend that Jamie would not stay at Lord John's. Here's a question for you. Here's a question
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
Do you feel like at the end of the episode, it seemed like
Which episode?
this last
Okay,
episode
last episode. Okay.
that because John said, um, go rescue our son, like this is not something that happened in a book. Like Jamie actually makes it a point to say several times to refer to William as my son. He does say something like, he's my son. I know, and Hal, because Hal's in the story, says, you know an awful lot about someone a kid you haven't seen since he was 6. And Jamie says, well, I know who his father is, and I know who raised him. So he does say, like, John raised him, but he makes it a point to say, like, William's my son. Um, and
Well, they're really making they were at least before the beating.
yeah,
Um, they were really making Jamie and John like a pair, like
yeah.
a just a duo that you'd like to see interact on screen. They were friendly. They kind of like looked out for one another, including for William.
Well, when Jamie says, I can't leave 300 men even if it's for my son, I don't know if Jamie would. I feel like Jamie might. Maybe no, but I feel like he wouldn't have. I feel like he made up his mind too quickly. Like he didn't like struggle with it.
Mhm.
Like that's. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like that was resolved too
But
quickly.
that is one thing they did kind of start to set up in last episode, where he was really he struggled more over that than I think he did like the Randall thing. Like they had more scenes about him struggling over commanding 300 men who he didn't kin to like than how many times he like lost sleep over Randall
Yeah. So
in that last episode. Like they had like at least two, maybe three scenes where they explicitly referred to him or showed him
uh
having issues, just serious concerns
yeah.
about that.
I think that's, and I'm trying to think how it was portrayed in the book. I was trying to. Also, this last season has been so hard because half the book is like in the middle of book 8. We're into book 8 now. We're way into book 8, but half of it's like in like right smack in the middle of the book. Some of it's still at the beginning of the book. It's just really hard for me to like, where's this scene? Where's this scene? So I actually can't remember um Jamie's, like he does have that he's just a responsible, I mean he is a responsible
Mm-hmm.
person, and he has like, that's what he does, like he's responsible for people on the ridge, he's responsible, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
he's responsible for Lollybrock, he's a responsible person. But I
right.
feel like he would have struggled more with like, just feel like he was just like, well, I can't leave my men I don't know for, even it's for my son, you
I
go get them.
I
Like that feels to me like that was out of character.
I feel like um I feel like Jamie would have been the one to be like, I can't leave the men. but here's the plan on how I'm going to put together a crack squad to go get him, and you're going to lead it.
But if I remember, he didn't even do that. John
No,
was
he didn't. It
like,
was John.
yeah,
It was all John. Yeah.
yes. Wasn't that out of character too? Didn't you think?
Of wait,
Jamie.
out of character, Jamie
Yes.
to.
Not be the one like I can't go, but you can.
I feel like Jamie should have said that.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's right there. It's
Right.
right there. You don't want to have to deal with John. Like,
Right.
cut him loose and be like, go.
Hey, I'm still pissed at you, but you did raise my son, so you go.
And he can trust him, at least
Right.
as far as that's concerned.
Right. And that's the other thing, like, so the kidnapping plot doesn't happen. This is not a spoiler because William does get attacked by Hessians, but I think it's just a coincidence. I don't think Richardson set it up. I don't think, but I feel like there is a scene, like, again, it's like an 800-page book, and I feel like there's this reveal where Richardson says he did set something up.
Like the attack was a setup.
The Dismal Swamp was definitely a setup, but
right,
we already
right,
know
right,
that.
right. Yes.
So I don't know if this. I know this is taking the place of. I'm 99% sure that this is taking the place of William getting attacked by the Hessians, but I think it was just bad luck that he got attacked by the Hessians. And Ian does save him, but he just comes across him. He doesn't go to. In the book,
okay,
he doesn't go to. He just happens to see that William is like knocked out.
Okay.
And he tries to grab him.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar, but this is the craziest thing. Do you know who the writer of that last episode was that I'm complaining so much about is different from the book?
Diana Gabaldon?
Yes!
So it's all with her blessing.
Yes, everything is with her blessing, which is actually what
Right.
I appreciate about this show, because I'm, again, 99% sure if somebody came up to her, because she's a consultant, and they'd be like, hey, we're going to do this, she'd be like, no, that wouldn't happen. They would be like, okay, we won't do it then. Because it was actually her idea, I saw, to have Murta be in charge of the regulators, because they were like, what would Murta be doing if he didn't die in Culloden? She's like, probably organizing the regulators in that uprising. So she is very involved, which I really appreciate. But I'm just like, but a huge part of this is why they had to change it is because Lauren Lyle, who plays Morsley, couldn't do this part of the season because she's actually doing another show. I don't know if she still is or not, but she was. And so the reason why Jamie and Claire are in Lord John's house is because they're not at Morsley and Fergus's house because they were living with them.
Mm-hmm.
But could you at least build another bedroom? No, okay, so Jamie would stay in Lord John's house. Okay, if I give you that because he's practical and he's like, hey, there's this house, even though in the book Lord John offers them her house and he says, no, I can give my wife a house, and he even tells John, don't even call her dear, because John says to Claire, my dear, and Jamie's like, don't say that. But okay, say he's practical, and he's staying in the house, fine. Would he sleep in the same bed where John and Claire had sex, but they were both fantasizing about Jamie? Would he sleep in that bed?
It might be improper for the master of the house to sleep anywhere else.
He's not the master of the house.
Oh, he sure is.
Oh,
he sure is. Once Lord John vacated.
No.
Yes, and once the
came, he was like, "This is Lord John's house," and Mrs. Figgis, "This is Lord John's house." He vacated with the army, but this is his house.
She said it's his house.
And there was another room because Claire was staying with him when she was helping Henry, so there has to be at least there's William's room, and I can guarantee you there's a guest room. sleep in the guest room. Do not sleep in the move the bed. Do not sleep in the bed that your wife had sex with your supposed best friend who is fantasizing about you. There's no
Mattresses
way.
mattresses are hard to come by. Okay, hon. The rebels are coming in. British are moving out.
He's a
Yeah,
rebel.
I know. It's hard to come by a good mattress nowadays. You know.
It's true.
Okay,
No,
maybe.
back then it
That's
was
what I mean.
hard.
That's what I mean. Yes, yes. No, no.
Now
I'm
we have
kidding.
like a mattress store every like 3 feet in our
I'm
neighborhood.
kidding. I'm kidding. So yes. Maybe. I'll give you a strong maybe that if that's what would have happened,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have batted an eye at it.
Okay.
I would have been fine if that's the way they took the story. If yeah, but that they didn't. I'm also not having a terrible time with it.
I am. It's making my eye twitch.
You,
So, there was one more thing though. Oh, but did it seem to you like JB was more like open to like I'm surprised he's even talking to John. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is that I saw like a clip of Sam Hewen saying like, yeah, Jamie still like still hasn't forgiven Lord John, blah blah blah. And I'm like, but it doesn't seem like that. And what makes me curious is because I know that Sam Hewen called Diana Gabaldon when he got cast. He and the guy who played Frank, Toby, Tobias Menzies.
sounds right.
Okay, well, anyway, they
Tobias something.
Tobias. They both contacted Diana Gabaldon for character development.
Right.
She said they were the only two, and Diana Gabaldon has even said that Sam is the closest. Not everyone's exactly how they are in the book, but Sam is the closest. She said that in interviews. So like when I see that, like I feel like he would be the one to read the book and be like, that's the other thing when I was watching the show before I watched the book, he would always twitch his one finger.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that has to be a definite like character choice that he chose to do that. And when I read the book, I found out that Jamie does that. So like he's very detailed, like as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he would read the book and be like, Jamie wouldn't do this. I know that I also saw one time that he got into a really big argument with Matthew Roberts because he did not want to say the line in season 3 where he says, "If you die now, I'll kill you." When they're in the hurricane, he's like, "If you die now, Sasnak, if you die now, I'll kill you." And he's like, Jamie would not say that. And they like, and apparently they had a huge fight on set about it. He's like, it's in the book. And Matthew Roberts was arguing with him because it's in the book. And Jamie would say that because it's in the book.
First of all, those type of lines crack me up every time. When someone's like, "Don't you?" When someone's like, "Don't you dare die, or I'll kill you."
Yeah.
Like those kind of lines in like any show, for whatever reason, it's just very funny to me. But that said, yeah, I don't know if that jives with Jamie's character that I know, but like you said, it is in the book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
Like quota ratem menstratium, like if it's in the book, it's what Jamie would say.
I guess my whole point is it wouldn't bother as much if I didn't read the books. And now I regret reading. No, I'm just kidding. I don't regret reading the books. They're good books. But yeah, I think that's all I really had to say about that. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I will save my thoughts for the next episode when we actually react to that episode.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we're going to. That's why we kind of did this informal book TV review for the last one, because we're just holidays have been busy.
Very.
And we just getting time to sit down and get everything together and edit things has been a pain. So we're just doing this. This is a lot easier to put together and edit. We'll probably go back to the more formal format for the last episode.
Hopefully, yes. I'm planning on it. Yeah. I suspect that's what.
With screenshots and stuff we can talk about. I'm sure this has been more boring than the rest of ours. So we're going to get started on 7:15.
Yes, Written in My Own Heart's Blood, which is the title of book 8.
Yep. All right. And before we get started, two quick like little bookkeeping details. One, um, sorry for getting out the last one out, the last episode out a little bit later. Again, holidays have been crazy. Didn't have as much time to edit as I thought. It's out now. Thanks for your patience. And second of all, I know that the reaction videos, despite being the more popular of our videos, um, are
What?
we get more comments about editing them and the voices and the overlays and stuff. I have edited YouTube videos before and with overlays, and I have never had videos get dinged with copyright as much as this has. Sony is the worst. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're the worst, but they're the worst I've dealt with so far. So when it comes to video infractions, I have to garble it up or put it somewhere over here so this line breaks it up, or something.
Turn out the music so it's strangely quiet.
For the audio, they pick up on all of the music. They pick up on the audio dialogue. So that's why I'm frequently cutting just parts where we're not talking and all you can hear is the audio dialogue, because otherwise that would get dinged. The video would get suspended and no one would ever get to see it. So
We know how much you love watching our videos.
so I'm
Just say
just
thanks.
so just I am doing my best to keep the yeah, it has to be edited somehow. It has to be altered somehow. So the algorithms don't catch it, because apparently we're not driving business to Outlander at all with this. I'm sure. But anyways, I'm doing my best to make it a watchable, listenable video. So thank you all for sticking with it. I'm doing my best to make it not obnoxious. I know a lot of reaction videos, not Outlander reaction videos. I actually haven't watched any other Outlander reaction channels, but other reactions I've watched, they have to garble or scramble the picture, and it's kind of obnoxious. I'm trying not to do that, so this is the best I'm coming up with. We'll see how it goes on. We'll see. So thanks for sticking with it, and let's get to 7:15.
Yes, let's.
All right, great.